Oh, taller than you.
I believe that we are live, but let me just double check one more place here.
It's my favorite.
Mhm.
Maybe not quite yet. Let's see.
It's okay, we can just hang out.
Yeah.
We love to hang out.
All right, we are now live and in Technicolor.
Yay!
Okay, yay. Excellent. Let me see if I can get this Zoom window back oriented so where I can see it as I need to. It's a lot of technology. This is so much fun. Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome to our space this evening. This is date night with the Crystal Matchmakers. So we'll just give it a second here. I can see we've got our moderator in the room. Tanya has shown up, and thank you for holding it down in the chat. And Alka and Mark, I'm really excited to be with you again this month for another exciting night of pretty shiny, sparkly things. So how are you?
We're good.
We're very good. You know,
Yeah, we're coming off of a event we had over the weekend, and well, shiny, pretty stuff, and we're
and
still,
lots of great energy. Yes.
yeah, we're
Uh-huh.
still.
I'm still so disappointed to have missed the what was it, crystals and kava crystals? What's the
Kava and chat.
Chat,
Chat. Yeah, that
Kava, Crystal,
the three C's.
social, yeah.
Yeah, so I missed it this time, and I had such a great time in December when I came that I hated to miss it, but I guess I probably would have enlarged my family too much if I would have came and done all that shopping.
Let me,
No such thing as too much.
Yeah, so what do you mean by too much? Yeah, no.
Now, and you guys are getting ready to go back to another Gem and Mineral show, right?
Just
We are
for
this
the
weekend,
day,
yeah.
very targeted to meet a couple of our vendors. We've got a very,
Specific list this
list.
time,
It's
so.
not a look and see what's available. It's a specific list because, as you know, we do personal shopping for our clients as well. There's someone, if they come to us and because as you know, I see clients, I do readings, and if someone says, I need this list or I need crystals to help me with something. So we do personal shopping as well. So clients come and say, I'm looking for this specific crystal. I can't find it, like you came and said you want watermelon tourmaline. So that's on our list as well.
Oh, yeah,
I need
okay.
a perfect watermelon tourmaline. And when we shop, normally we think of our clients a lot and we go, do you think does this suit Joelle's energy, or would Joelle like it? So we look at the aesthetic of the crystal as well as the energy of the crystal. And I think that's where the combination of Mark and Alka really, really combine with that, because we've really, if I can say so myself, done well with the personal shopping piece for our clients. We've gotten our clients some gorgeous pieces, high vibrational pieces because of our combined efforts.
As I sit here with my
On your right.
on your right, that you all, yes, I can attest to that. And I think it's beautiful to have, to not have to educate oneself all the way to the degree that the two of you obviously do, being this is your specialty, to be able to, with confidence, have a person who has sat down and figured out how to tell if a crystal is authentic or not, and the quality. It's a reassuring service, I think, as a person who is willing to invest sizable amounts of money in a crystal. If you're looking at bringing something really big into your home that's going to be a statement piece in your living room, you want to make sure that it's the thing you think that you're buying, you know?
No, exactly. We take it very, very seriously.
Yeah.
And from the smallest to the largest piece, if someone's asked us to look and they've given us a budget, we really take it seriously. And we want to make sure that, again, as you said, aesthetically, that it's pleasing to the eye, and but energetically as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
That it vibrates, it's clear, it's clean, its energy is clean, and that even from a geological processing perspective, that it's not exchanged that many hands, that it's been through this entire process of traveling all over the world, exchanged 100 hands before it's come to, you or whoever who wants it. So we're very, very careful about the hands it passes through as well.
Absolutely. And we've touched on that in some of our earlier date nights. For everyone who's here regularly, it's great to have you back. And for those of you that this is your first time catching a date night, please go back and check out the previous ones that we've had, because not only do we have a good time, but there's been a lot of information and knowledge sharing about some unusual crystals. So it's kind of cool to go back and remember that we talked about something, months and months ago, hopefully at some point. So I know that you spoke about the ethical sourcing of crystals at length, I think in one of our first conversations, actually. So that's super important. We're conscious consumers, right? I mean, and this is earth resources in the form of our minerals and solid materials. So I think we can all appreciate the energy exchange that's happening in that arena.
No, absolutely. And I mean, just also, I know there's been a lot of conversation on social media about the whole ethical, what is the definition of ethical crystals? I really want to, at the end of the day, the process of purchasing your crystals is a very personal one. Knowing, having been a consumer, right, of crystals most of my life, it's a very personal one. So when we say ethical, it's based on our definitions and our interactions and our knowledge of our vendors. And to us, that's what we mean. We know our vendors, we know the families that they come from, we know their backgrounds, and we want to continue working with them. We won't lie that in our process of work, our process of learning, that we have worked with vendors that have acquired crystals from other means that we don't consider ethical, and we have stopped buying from them. So, and that's really where we're coming from when we say ethical. The means that we feel is the right way of mining, the right way of processing, the right way of selling, and yeah.
Well, that's one of the beautiful reasons using the Matchmaker. And so I'm excited to see what you're going to have coming in from Franklin, just out of curiosity's sake, in order to peek at other people's goodies that are coming in. But I think that it is exciting because you're going out to mix and match and mingle energies with a bunch of people who are unique and coming from all over the world. So that's really exciting as well.
No, definitely is.
It is, yeah. Practically speaking, though, we can't go too crazy in Franklin, because I think we're going to go crazier in Denver, which is coming up in September.
Okay, there's a plan.
The Denver show.
See, as you can tell, he's a practical one, right?
I'm saying there's a plan, right? A strategy, right? Your mom says, don't spend all your money in the first stop,
He gives me a budget, a daily budget. And and if I go over it, he'll say, tomorrow you can't do that.
Well, I think we mentioned in a previous show that last time we went to Franklin, we had a budget and we almost blew it in the first day.
Well,
so but I'm sure in Denver Denver's going to be more touch and go. Because
now, are you going to be driving from or to?
No, we're flying.
To
we're flying.
Okay.
So it's whatever can fit in our luggage.
Right.
And then whatever shipping to get it.
Whatever, if it works
If
out.
it comes to that, yeah.
Because one thing I will say, Mark, and it started with Mark, it's kind of flitting to me as well. Mark's really good at picking out home decor pieces,
Yeah.
and he'll spot a piece and he'll always check with me. And from where I come from, home decor, I apply my feng shui skills, right? My geomancy and vastu and feng shui to look at a piece and go, okay, what is this piece for? Which part of the house? Because whoever's getting it from us, I feel it's our responsibility to say, this is what this piece is good for and how it's going to fit into the aesthetic of your home. And we're happy to also come to your home, take a look at all of your crystals, and even place them for you from a feng shui perspective. So we've started looking at, how we help people do that as well. The other thing is, a lot of people have been coming and saying, I have a whole bunch of crystals, I don't know what they are anymore. I lost my papers, or can you help with identification? So that's another thing that we're thinking of adding to our services is bring us your box of crystals and we'll help you identify.
Well, we're going to have a party that's on the whole Vibrate Future events list, because I have a whole little kit back here myself. And I thought that would be just an awesome idea to have all the experts available for people to come schedule a quick consultation, get little markers so that you can keep up with it, and tips for keeping yourself organized, and avail themselves of your wisdom for, I think that's an awesome afternoon well spent.
Yeah,
I can see other people saying, I'd love that. I probably have 30 or 40 crystals that I don't even know. I can kind of guess, but I feel through them. So that's still good.
But that's the other thing. So we don't just want to, say, oh, this is a crystal. What is it? Identify it. And you go, no, what I'd like to do. And an announcement, I'm going to start a new set of classes in the fall. So I'm excited about that. And so part of that is I also want to teach you to listen to the stories of the crystals. One thing that and I guess that's why we match so well, because I've always listened to the stories. I've always said crystals have stories. Every individual one has its story. And he comes to me several times and says, this crystal wants this, and this is this crystal's story. And I'm, wow, So we would like to teach people that. We would like to teach everyone to listen to, hear, see, feel stories. You don't have to necessarily hear voices or see images. You can feel, right? You can sense emotions. And
yes, the only negative thing is that we can't adopt all the crystals that come out to us, because at the last Denver show, for instance, there was a 5-foot tall trollite tower that Alka wouldn't let me take home with us because it wouldn't fit in our suitcase.
It would have bust my budget.
Wow.
Do you want the trollite leaf?
No, we can bring the trollite. We do have trollite leaves, though, which
but it was 5 feet tall. Are you 5?
It was my height.
Okay, I was wondering.
I'm 5 feet. Yeah.
We do have 2 trollite leaves.
Oh yes.
Here's one of them. We've displayed them before.
They're heavy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
These come from Brazil, trollite. They're not like increasingly common. They're becoming more and more common, but you can right now only find trollite in Brazil. And I love to ask Mark, what do you feel when you have trollite in your hands? How do you feel?
Well, trollite it's a high vibration crystal. It's pretty intense in that regard, but at the same time, it's not an overwhelming sort of intensity. It kind of gives you a sense that all is well with the world. It allows you to relax, calms you down. But yeah, that's what I feel when I'm around it. It's like a slightly higher vibrating Larimar to me.
Yes. I want to touch it whenever I'm around it, like as a soothing stone or something.
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an example of the.
And that's how many pounds is that piece, would you say?
God, I can't remember when we weighed it, but it's probably in the neighborhood, I think around 27 pounds,
For both or
Wow.
just for one?
just for one, I
Just
think.
for one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it's less
Yeah.
than
Less
27.
than,
I can lift it easy. I
Mm.
mean, I can't
Yeah.
too much.
Mhm.
So
It's just amazing to know that that is a
but I
single
don't
piece,
remember exactly.
a single piece that has been shaped down to that from a much larger piece of intact mineral. That's just really amazing. to me.
it's yeah. So it's you're thinking of a huge, massive rock, right? And this is carved, and then the other pieces get carved into your smaller palm stones and your hearts and your tumbles. So again, the usage of all of it is important to us, because if you're mining it, then we want that entire piece to go somewhere or to go with someone. And then you've got the rough pieces as well a lot of the time, and it's hard to get trolite, not rough pieces, because essentially they're gray, right?
Mhm.
A lot of matrix around it, less of the blue that everyone
Right.
really
It's
prizes.
a larger piece.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So in contrast, and this is an example. So when I teach, I always say it's so personal, your relationship with crystals. So while Mark feels calm and all of the adjectives he used with trolite, I feel throbbing. I in fact feel intense energy, and that's so personal for me because I've always had this throat chakra blockage, right? I always hide my truth, scared of speaking my truth. And so you have a crystal like trolite, which is all about the throat chakra and all about speaking out, that it vibrates really heavily with me, knowing that that is my journey in this life, about speaking, about being an orator, about writing, right? And so that's why crystals like that, they have a much bigger impact on me. And with Mark, who is such a good orator, who speaks really well and eloquently, it's a lot more just part of his
Right.
personality, just part of who he is. So it kind of puts him on the flow that he already is in and on. So that's an example how a person's individual relationship with crystals can grow, or to understand their individual relationship with crystals.
And there's no wrong relationship with the crystal. It's truly like your own personal experience, no matter what a book or person says.
Exactly.
Correct.
We've got people in the chat room who have been commenting about how pretty the leaf, or it looks like a feather, calming. And then somebody says her name is Grandmother's Wing.
Oh, I like that, grandmother.
And yes, the Etsy site, someone has asked for the Etsy site. We'll get the link here in the chat, but it's the Crystal Matchmakers on
Etsy doesn't have a the,
It's
so
just
in
Crystal
Etsy,
Matchmakers
it's just
on
Crystal
Etsy.
Matchmakers.
It's Crystal Matchmakers in Etsy, and I'll put a link there. We've got Robin's Realm here in the chat. She's down in Texas, and we've got Gooba's Gourmet as well, and people chatting as well that I can't see their names. So thank you, everybody who's joining us this evening.
Thank you.
So I wanted to have a question and answer opportunity to ask the Crystal Matchmakers questions, right? So last time we talked a little bit about placement of black tourmaline and things that you can do. What I have a question about is what crystals are suitable to put in like the soil area of your house plant. And the reason I asked is I think I put something, maybe, I didn't think I put a Himalayan, but I might have put something that leached into the soil that ultimately was not good for my plant. So like I'd like plant safe that can take watering, and being that close to something growing, crystal recommendations.
So green aventurine is excellent for plants. excellent. And it goes really well into the soil because, again, if you look at green aventurine, its origin is kind of fossilized glass over thousands of years. So that's where green aventurine is. It's originally glass, right? So that really does very well with plants. Personal experience. Every time I've had a crystal break, I've put them in a plant or a plant pot or buried them, in the ground. And I have had no adverse reaction from the plants. I have they call it a money plant here that I barely water. I'm terrible at watering it, but it's got all of my broken crystals, and it's 2 years now. It's alive, it's well, it's thriving. It once in a while looks like it's, I need water, and okay, here, once a week, once in 2 weeks. But any crystals. Fluorite is one of the crystals that break really easily because it carries a lot of energy if we don't.
What did you say?
Fluorite.
Oh, fluorite.
And so I have a couple of fluorites that's broken, and I put fluorite in all of my plants, and my plants just thrive.
Okay.
Clear quartz, of course, green aventurine, any of the non-toxic crystals. So by toxic, I mean like malachite
or azurite.
They're toxic, so don't put them in with the plants.
Or others that react negatively to water, like angelite or eudolite.
Yeah, well, they will dissolve in water.
Right.
But any of the major metals, either like copper, don't put copper in either. You can do away with copper in other ways if it breaks, but not with your plants, not in a plant pot.
Okay, so I'll have to just probably own a little bit of that. I'm not the best plant mom, rather than think it was the crystal's fault. I don't have the greatest track record with houseplants, but I did have a crystal garden on that one, trying to help it, and I guess it just got overwhelmed.
Well, that happens too. So just you can experiment. I encourage everyone to experiment. If you're putting a seedling in, you're harvesting seeds, put crystals around your seeds to help them grow as well.
Well, in terms of clearing your air, like a house plant would, are Himalayan lamps or big chunks of selenite the best ambient air cleanser?
Absolutely. So think of, and I think maybe we shared this the last time, but I think of selenite as the bleach of the crystal world. So just how bleach scrubs out, and cleans and sanitizes everything, that's exactly what selenite does as well. Like sage as well. Sage clears space. However, when you sage a space, always use sage with something sweet, because when you clear a space, you're creating a vacuum. When you create a vacuum, that negativity that you were kind of trying to get away can come back in because it's a vacuum. So you burn something sweet with it so that you're creating the clear space and you're bringing something sweet in. So the same with selenite. So if you're using selenite, put a citrine or put a rose quartz or put the energy of what you want to imbue that space in. So if you're clearing, let's say, your altar space and you have a selenite there, then I would recommend a piece of danbarite. Danbarite is a great crystal for bringing the energies of the masters and the spirit guides and the angels. And you want that energy in your sacred space, in your prayer corner. And so selenite keeps the space clear, and then danbarite brings that energy in. And if you'd like to take a look at what danbarite looks like, we have a couple of big pieces that we acquired.
I'll bring them.
Okay, awesome.
All in the big piece as well. And
that's awesome.
And so, so that's how you use crystals in space, in your surroundings from an energetic perspective.
I have a couple of larger pieces.
Okay.
This is danbarite. It's got a very specific shape. Really hard to find very polished pieces. So these are considered rough pieces.
Okay.
Like to hold that.
Of course.
And if you can see, frosted pink. This one has some calcite crystals growing.
Okay.
So that amplifies the energy
This one
of
has a few as well.
danbarite. Yeah. So it's really, really beautiful. So the energy of danbarite, if you can even feel it through, very, very gentle energy, but very high vibration. And it's that crystal that connects you directly to source. So by having a crystal like that in your sacred space, when you're meditating with you, the connection to source is immediate. It's super quick, it's super fast. And then, you can go ahead and commune and hang out with your spirit guides and your masters and your angels for as long as you want. So, so that's an example of how you would use, right? Selenite, something like this.
See, so this is the kind of information that when you have a private consultation with Mark and Alka, this is exactly the kind of wisdom that you're accessing, and it's very personalized. You're always sharing stuff. I could listen to you all day because I'm always coming away with something new in my arsenal. But I wanted to get to a few specimens tonight for people who are interested in shopping. I don't know if your brucite is handy, but I know we've got the brucite watcher in the room.
Brucite's always handy.
Okay. And for everybody, if you comment down below, we are in the process of arranging our first private outing with the Crystal Matchmakers to happen sometime between now and probably early fall, where we'll be able to host you all for an afternoon of crystals and oracles and personal connection. So, okay, we've got the big googly eyes from the chat room on the brucite here. So
brucite comes mostly from Afghanistan and kind of the border Afghanistan and Pakistan mountains. There is different quality of brucite. And so just to show you this really lemon yellowy specimen that really is gemmy, and this is all crystal.
There's no matrix on it, very little matrix.
This is matrix that it came with. So it's really not common to find this full piece like this. And we happen to get a tray of this from our supplier. If you look at this has got no matrix at all. It's akin to finding a gem, right? Finding a gem with stone, or finding the gem on its own like that. So we've got brucite. We found brucite. I found brucite about 6 years ago at the store, and they only had one piece, or maybe they had two pieces. The minute I held it, my solar plexus and my sacral chakra started humming like crazy. So I said, okay, this is something I need to start working with to see, what it's trying to tell me. And so when I spoke to Mark about it and, showed him my first piece of brucite, he kind of fell in love with it. And that was one of our biggest on our list for Denver last year. I remember from day one, Mark said, brucite. So we then discovered the different qualities of brucite. So we have this quality of brucite. And then we also have brucite with matrix, which is from the Afghanistan-Pakistan border. And regardless of the type of brucite, though, it's a very sunshiny, very joyful type of energy. You can't not feel happy when you see it. It's very uplifting in its quality. But also, I always have this warning in the box that brucite works on your solar plexus chakra. And so anytime you work on your solar plexus chakra, if there are any blockages, brucite will manifest that physically. The day we bought the box of brucite, of course, I stubbornly wanted to carry it and not give it to Mark or not put it on, in the car or anything. So I literally carried it the full day. I got home and my solar plexus chakra or energy center was fully activated. Fully activated. It was full of energy, very, joyous, very full of laughter, full of mischief and playfulness. At the same time, I had a tummy upset as well. So it was trying to clear out my tummy and clear out my system of any toxins that I had. So that's kind of that warning label as well, that when you are working with crystals that do work on your physical, not just an energetic, but a physical organ layer as well, that it is going to help, detoxify your system.
Oh my goodness. I remember when you handed me a malachite.
Yeah.
And a few
That was a
days
different kind
later, a few days later, I was in bed with the very physical reaction of healing, but that brucite is the one that's, I think, the free form bubbler without the matrix on it. I think that is, it looks like lemon drops or something.
Like frosted lemon type.
Yeah.
Frosted color.
Lemon gumdrops. Yeah.
So for people who are interested in brucite, what is the price range from the low to high end for the specimens that you currently have?
So we have specimens that range from, I think, about $35
Right.
that are more of the ones with the matrix, right up until that. And I think
This
that's
big
our
piece
highest
was,
price
this
piece.
is our, biggest and highest price piece at $348.
Okay.
So there's a whole range, but something for every budget.
Yes. We'll have information about those in the notes to the show here for those who are catching it. You can always go to the Crystal Matchmakers on Etsy. Crystal Matchmakers, right? And also on your Facebook page, are you showing your brucites, like a current inventory on your Facebook at this time?
Well, on Facebook, it's more, we feature we featured the ammonite this week, but we're trying to be better about, Instagram and Facebook. To be honest, we've not been really good
We've
about
fallen
that.
a little behind.
Yeah. So we're trying to be better about that. And I think we'd be very happy to feature a brucite post about brucite, the qualities of brucite, and post a couple of pictures. Mark's really been really, really good about taking great pictures.
Oh, yes, your pictures are so beautiful. The colors really do, you can see the true to eye colors of the pieces. They're not enhanced, but they're captured with great clarity,
Enhancement police, he refused. He literally, he takes a picture, he'll take it, and he'll spend, quite a bit of time comparing to make sure that he's got every angle. And I watch him and I go, post a picture already.
No, the natural light and the outdoor and the setting, it really does, like, especially when you're purchasing virtually, it is important to see, because stones are in no way perfect at all. So the fact, if you can see an inclusion or, indenture in it before ever even touching the stone, that's the kind of disclosure that should be happening as you look at the crystal.
No, absolutely. And again, it's credit to Mark. He does all the photography. He's very particular about getting the best angles, about, as you say, if there is an imperfection, he wants to get that as well, because we want everyone to ensure that, these crystals are not perfect, just like all of us, right? But a lot of the times, the imperfections in crystals, to me, are what makes it perfect.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're just natural. I don't even like to say imperfections, because that's the thing.
I won't say perfectly imperfect.
Yeah.
And like Mark said, what's the word you just used?
Endearing.
Endearing.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
Way to disguise the flaws, because the flaws are part of what make the crystal.
Right. Absolutely. And I know that when I saw the brucite at first, I knew it was not citrine, but I felt citrine-y, but I knew it wasn't that same kind of happy joy feeling that citrine, like a sunshiny day, kind of energy, it is a little different, but I couldn't describe why I knew that it wasn't citrine,
There's a couple of the Congo citrine and some points.
Is really different, right? Citrine comes from quartz and the interaction of quartz with iron as a mineral. And so you've got citrine that you can see. It's pretty much different. And this is natural.
Okay.
See just a difference in the quality and the difference. Yeah. So obviously the mineral composition is very different than citrine. Citrine does not hold negativity. So the best thing about citrine is it dispels negativity on any form. So you never ever have to wash citrine unless you need to. Citrine is also known more popularly as a merchant stone. It brings in prosperity to your life and to your family. We're again very particular about getting natural citrine.
Okay.
These are natural citrine from Brazil and the Congo. We've tried to make it because we feel everyone should own citrine. I think if there's one crystal in the world that you think every household needs to have, okay, I'm going to say two, is citrine and rose quartz.
Rose quartz, right.
Because, it doesn't hold negativity. It's pure joy. It's all about bringing that joy inside of you out, without bringing it outside. And then rose quartz. Rose quartz is the best friend everyone needs. It's non-judgmental. It's unconditional love. It's just the crystal that everyone needs in their life, in their families.
I'd put black tourmaline in there as a third, possibly.
And
and a tenth.
Yeah, black tourmaline for protection. And here I just wanted to show you. So this citrine is slightly heat treated. It's from Brazil, and you can see the color is quite different from these. It's darker, more smokier, more yellow. And so it's been heat treated. So a lot of the citrine out there in the market, that's a honey yellow color. A lot of the time it's amethyst that's been heated so high that amethyst turns that browny, honeyish, yellowish color, and it's sold as citrine. So the energy of those is quite different from these natural citrine.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think that the sunshiny being brought into your life is a good energy. So say if you're a person who has seasonal affective disorder, right? Or you don't get to be outdoors as much due to the structure of your life. Having citrine would be a good, it's not a complete substitute for sunlight on your cells, but it could certainly support your energy.
It's a good companion. Citrine is a great companion to have with you all the time, every time. There is no such thing as too much citrine. Wait, there's no such thing as too many crystals.
Okay, right. Let's make it as large as possible. What other crystals do you have this evening that are just vibrating to be seen?
Yeah.
So
we have some carnelian right here, for instance.
One of Mark's favorites.
Yes. Carnelian heart right here, and has a concentration of energy right here at the center. Almost looks like a swarm of energy emanating from the middle.
Okay. Oh, yes, it does. And carnelians are very grounding.
Well, okay. So like I said, what I said about selenite being the sage or the bleach of the crystal world, carnelian is your espresso of the crystal world. So anytime you feel, oh man, it's Saturday and I have to clean the house, and I don't really want to clean the house, but I have to, a couple of citrine in the pocket, and I guarantee you in 15 minutes or less, out there and go, oh, let me at him.
Okay.
Let me dust, let me clean, let me do this, let me do that. So
but it's not domestic, is it? It's just energetic.
Physical energy.
Okay.
Physical energy. So the reason Mark likes it, because obviously he's with energy, but it just boosts that further for him personally. And again, citrine comes in so many different shades, ranging from kind of this light orange with crystal, some crystal and chalcedony to this really dark orange, and then the combination of the light and the dark. Oh, look at that beautiful organite with the.
So I have a carnelian egg that was custom poured for me into organite. She really took like over a year to make sure that she was going to be able to pour properly, because it was such a nice specimen. She didn't want to have it, get off center, and she did just the most amazing job. So if I'm generating an orgone field with cornelian into my office and space, then what does this do then?
That again brings energy into your office and space. The other thing about carnelian is it's the action stone. I call it an action stone, which means everyone says, oh, carnelian is your abundance stone. Essentially, what carnelian is if you're manifesting something, have carnelian there, because carnelian will put your manifestation to action.
So this is perfect for my home office.
Yes, it is.
Where I'm productive and all of those things. All right. Beautiful.
Carnelian in your office, a carnelian in your prosperity corner of your house, because again, you've got all your prosperity stones. What are you manifesting and how do you put it to action? You have to have an action stone, and your carnelian is an action stone.
And you can carry a piece like a tumble or a heart or a palm stone in your pocket, in your purse, along with you to kind of keep your energy levels stable during the day.
I love that. Like you said, it's going out from that heart center and like a very grounded pulse in the center of that, rather than it being lighter on the inside. That's really intense. Beautiful.
See what I mean about how eloquent he is about describing pulse? Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. What else do you want to show, Mr. Mark?
Vivianite.
So
Always have to show something a little bit outside.
Always out of the left field. I love it.
So I hope this color radiates. Yeah.
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
see that?
Wow.
Yeah.
What is that?
That is called Miss Viv. I'm trying to see if you can. No, it just actually you could see it like that. This is
Yeah, I mean
this
is
is
it almost blue?
blue green.
Green, yeah.
It's
Yes. Oh wow.
and it's really got, oh look at, so you can see the blue there, and then the blue up here, and then the green. It's
Wow.
called Vivianite, and it
Oh wow.
uh,
Beautiful.
what do
No,
you-
no. Here is another piece that's a little bit more green, translucent. It's a little bit of a rainbow quality.
that kind of
to it.
looks like a sheet of
Yes.
Mhm.
It's so glossy and very shiny.
looks like a piece of glass actually if you look at it, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's the way it's been cut. And so what did you feel the first time you saw Vivianite, Mark?
Felt a sense of empowerment and a sense of protection at the same time. It reminds me of something almost a little bit extraterrestrial.
Yes. Yeah.
Instead of an energy depleting feel about it, it has an energy enhancing feel to it.
Absolutely. So Vivianite is definitely a stone for the heart center, right? And so when it allows your heart to radiate outside. So a lot of the heart stones are about self-love, about unconditional love, about, very internal. But for me, I found Vivianite's been very external crystal. It's about projecting that, feeling of love, affection out into the universe, and for everyone, as opposed to keeping it inside. So I recommend that Vivianite is, for those who have a propensity to work with a lot of people, who are healers, that Vivianite is definitely a crystal that will resonate with you if you're a healer, because it then allows you to kind of concentrate all of that energy, love, healing, affection out into the universe, kind of expand it out and be able to hold it and maintain it. not just,
Hmm.
and it won't tire you out. It won't expend your own energy because you're
Yeah.
as the catalyst to send out to the world.
This is not supposed to be the Joelle shopping hour. But I'm like, wow, that's speaking my language. No, but it reminds me of that. I don't even know how they're pronouncing it. The mystery object that they've been monitoring the last couple years begins with a pneumonia or something like that. I'll have to look it up because it's an object that they believe has traveled across the galaxy, and it's very oblong and it's shaped like that other cluster that you had there. And so that kind of alien ship-like high gloss technology look seems
Wow.
to be very resonant.
We
Wow.
need to look that up. We've
I'm
not,
going to have to look it up as we speak here because it's on the tip of my tongue.
yeah, I can't stop touching this piece. I really, I personally discovered Vivianite 20 years ago. So I have my personal piece that's really tiny. And of course, as you know, I keep contemplating, do I keep this in the personal collection?
Have a lot of pieces that have come into the personal
collection. But again, the commitment to our crystals that I have is really, if they're staying with us long enough, that I will write about them. We'll write about the stories. And, you know, the minute we do, peace sells. So I know that that's part of our journey as well.
I'm going to share the picture of this object. It's Umama or We Mama, and they've been monitoring it. And they, you know, there are those that speculate that it is a sentient, you know, we think it's a rock, but it's really a sentient colony. So when I saw that piece, it just seemed to remind me of the images that I'd seen of that on a level. I don't know if I was just picking up a resonance, you know.
We definitely want to read more about that.
Yeah, it's been in like the science, you know, things because they first spotted it a few years ago, and it's like the scientists have been speculating, is it a really random pulling of this object, or is it propelled or driven by something that we don't understand the technology yet?
And its term is Hawaiian because it was discovered using the telescope in Haleakala. So that's resonant to me as well.
Yes, I think so. So I don't know, that just is what I saw when I saw that cluster. Beautiful, beautiful. And so this is something you just don't find at the regular crystal store.
No, Vivianite this kind of disappeared for a while. And only those who were teaching or knew about Vivianite, and I mean, even I was trying to look for Vivianite for a long time, but it's come back into the scene from these specimens from Africa. And one of Mark's buddies, vendors, he had these pieces. So we got these from him, but we want to go back and see if he has any more pieces as well, because these smaller pieces are pretty affordable. Like this piece, which is quite thick, as you can see, it's $28. So this is pretty affordable. We want to get more affordable pieces.
Go ahead and.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Sold.
There it goes. Good hope.
Yeah. And
okay, somebody's on Etsy now. Is your brucite on Etsy already?
Some of the brucite, not all of them. So if you see some other pieces, or if you give us a budget, we'll send you pictures of those that, you know, are in your budget.
We have pictures at the ready, so we can send them of our entire
All right. Oh, that's awesome. You know, I'm like ready to look in my crystal oracles because I'm like, is Vivianite even one that's, you know, covered? I love it when they're not, you know, but I love it when they are too. I like it both ways, right? So
any of my crystal oracle cards have Vivianite. So
yes.
yeah.
that's an interesting name, even like Vivian. So I'm sure there's going to be some other symbols come through with that as well. This week in my work, I was doing work with Lakshmi, and the crystal that came up was denovite. Hold on. It's got plants in it.
Dendritic.
Dendritic agate.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I had it close. And so you can see the brown plant material within the crystal to varying degrees, depending on the cut. Sometimes it's even translucent, right? So
yeah, we now have found dendritic or dendrites in a lot of different crystals. So there's dendrite in fluorite, dendrite in clear quartz, dendrite in opal, dendrite in agate. And then we've got a couple of pieces of dendrite in, was it limestone or sand?
Limestone, I think.
And that came from China. So it's green limestone and dendrite on it. Dendrite is about growth. So they're actually not really branches or plants. They're mineral that grow like plants. And so anything with dendrite is about personal growth. It's about growth in your mindset. It's about growth in your thought processes and growth in the direction that you are meant to go. So a lot of the time, if someone's confused about their life path and what direction they should go into, then any dendritic, especially dendritic fluorite, is really a great helper, because fluorite helps you focus. So dendritic fluorite is all about focusing on that growth, that path of growth.
We have some opal on display. Shall we show it?
Yes, we do. Sure.
You can bring it.
Dendritic agate would be for.
Well, if you think of agates are the most, what's the word I'm looking for? When yeah, I was gonna say flexible.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, agates are the most versatile. That's the word I'm looking for. He's like my charm when it comes to looking for words. But agates are the most versatile. So you can use agates for most anything, right? And agates are also amplifiers. So dendritic agate is all about the amplification of the dendrites. Now, these that Mark just brought are dendritic opal. So opalized agates that have dendrites in them. So they're called, and this piece has a beautiful piece of the opal right here, right here, and then just dendrites all over. And so one thing about opal, it magnifies anything. So with opal, it's magnifying the dendrite. Dendrites are in no way expensive. They're very affordable. These range from 15
this
to
one
24.
Is 15.
That's 15. This one's 24. These two are 24.
Those look like they just feel so great in the palm.
They're very, very smooth. Obviously, great for if you are meditating, or even if you go for massage or acupuncture, you could just hold it in your hand and feel that energy. The thing with a lot of opal, though, if you're sensitive to energy, you feel the energy really, really easily with opal. So I do suggest not to wear opal for more than, a couple of days at a time, or not to keep opal under your pillow, because then you'll get, you'll be doing a lot of work in the dream state, and you'll end up waking up more tired than when you went back to sleep.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, so with opal, with dendrite, and I recommend the best way to work with it is meditation. Just consciously in meditation when you're awake, and then to put it aside and then go back to it.
Okay. See, it's always interesting having these conversations. As I said, I'm just fascinated. This is the kind of talk that I could just do all day, every day. You know, there's so much to talk about, and we just really scratched the tip of the iceberg when we're talking about the crystals, you know. My crystal story about agate is that I went to visit my sister in Germany many years ago. Her husband was stationed there. And on my way back from like Amsterdam on the Euro, the train let me off in Idar Oberstein, which is like the cutting capital of the world at one point, where they were shipping agate from all over the trade routes to go to the master cutters in this community in Germany, like hundreds upon hundreds of years ago. So I wound up getting like super affordable quantities of like, it was more weight in my baggage, but it was worth it because the cost was so affordable compared to by the time it reaches here. And it was at the home of, you know, where these master cutters, this is their trade craft for centuries. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That is very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that is a situation though now, especially travel with Europe, that everyone's carrying carry-on luggage. I mean, one of my problems is my luggage is always full of rocks.
Right. I've got to stop by security more than once to have my bag checked at TSA.
Yeah, different. I've had different customs go, what is this? This is a rock.
Right. They're like, if you click them together, is it going to make sparks or something? I know they're like, is this a weapon? It's like, no, it's not, you know.
Yes, don't do that with Vivianite. Sorry, I got caught. I got distracted by the sparkles of this Danburite. And can you see that?
It looks very sheer golden almost.
Yeah. It's a layer of druzy crystals on the Danburite. So not all Danburite comes in with those sparkles, but these that we picked up had all of these sparkles.
Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, Mark went to get something else.
Reminded me of something, since we were talking about both sparkles and agate. Here's an agate heart with lots.
Oh, look at that.
Agate with druzy.
Yes. That sparkle shows really well.
It does. It does.
It looks like the night sky. That's beautiful.
The constellations.
What's the back look like?
The back.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Very calming energy.
Appearance from the back. Yeah, but it's very relaxing, very thoughtful, and at the same time has a little bit of a showmanship to it.
Yes, yes. The folks in the chat room are saying, oh my goodness, these are beautiful. Somebody was looking for Vivianite in Etsy, so there's not any in Etsy right now, correct?
And then Alka is coming with yet another agate, I believe.
Okay.
Very special.
Oh, wow. Yes, I saw that before, I think. I love how that's both types, the smooth and the rough in one.
You have the like black amethyst interior.
Yeah. So with crystals like this, I use crystals like this in meditation, because what you do is you just, focus on the inside of the cave. And then when I run my classes, I do a journey of walking into a crystal cave, in to meditate with the crystal cave. So this always provides a great visual for that.
Yes. And what is that? You said black amethyst?
Agate on the outside and black amethyst on the inside.
Okay. And so the amethyst, that's a clarifying?
Amethyst is a very protective crystal, very protective. So it's one of those, it protects you at a soul level. So in some belief systems or some, crystal teaching traditions, they teach you when you go to bed, have an amethyst by your side, because if your soul travels at night, then amethyst will make sure that your soul is always tethered to the earth. So it comes back on earth. I have that's one. I've recently discovered, in addition to amethyst, we should keep a petersite.
Yes, I would say you shared about petersite for nighttime, bringing it back to yourself.
Petersite tethers it to yourself. I used to be, because of astral travel and all of the dreams and everything that happens at night, used to wake up in the morning exhausted, even with amethyst. Amethyst reminds me that this is, to come back, but nothing was relieving me of the tiredness until, Mark chose one of the petersites we had, because I said, I think I need petersite. And I put it under my pillow, and I now don't want to let go of it, because I'm waking up less tired. So I feel I still have lots of dreams, but I'm not feeling like I left part of myself in the dreams. I come back fully, and I wake up fully, and I'm less tired. So I don't feel like I've run a marathon at night, or I've, done a triathlon at night, which is what was happening to me.
Right. See, and that's so wonderful, because no matter what it is you might be experiencing, there is a way to view it through the prism of a crystal ally, from sleeplessness or discomfort, from clearing your physical environment, as we've talked about, like supporting you as you make your plans in your office. It's like, I love that this potential is here, and that we have people like you both to share this kind of connecting of the dots for how the crystals really are helping us. They're doing it in the earth naturally. Yeah. Now we're just moving into a conscious relationship with them differently in this time and space.
Exactly. I mean, if you think of, if you've got a tummy upset or you want to calm down, you drink chamomile tea to soothe. We're taking herbs from the earth and we're consuming them because we want to be in harmony with that earth. In the consumption of that brings us in harmony, the consumption of that properly. So the chamomile flowers, soaking it in the water and drinking it with gratitude. And so the same thing goes with crystals as well, where consuming it in a certain way, but within the harmony of the earth. And then when they break, sending them back into the earth with that gratitude, or keeping them in your life with gratitude, or giving them to someone with gratitude as well. A lot of the crystals, once they've done for you what they need to do, then it's time, you get this, you meet someone and say, oh, I think, you need this, or I should get this to you. When that happens, it's again that natural aspect of that crystal communicating with you. And kudos to you for listening and following that guidance and giving that crystal away, or sharing that crystal with someone who needs them as well.
Well, and that's one reason why I think coming to an event with you all, it's a crystal identification party, would be very helpful for me, because I do know that I have more crystals than what I'm actually actively got out in my space. So I need to, let's open the boxes back up, open the little cute containers that I had to get when I was shopping at Ross, and actually look at the crystals so I could know what I'm feeling attracted to in the new moment, and then let some things go with intention, knowing. It's like certain oracle decks. I know I'll encounter oracle cards and I'll get the crystal at the time that I'm working with that particular guidance or message. But then that passes behind me in the river of life, and I don't necessarily revisit that relationship that I had at the time. So I definitely have some things that I need to dust off and to bring back for a new season of work, So we'll definitely be keeping tuned as to when that crystal identifiers party is going to happen. But I think it's going to be well attended, and that there'll be plenty of people who have lots of rocks that they bring from home. So
Yeah, we look forward to it because
yeah.
even this past weekend, we had people come and say, "Oh, have you ever met or seen this rock?" And was one specifically that I had never heard of or
Yeah,
never
me neither.
experienced.
Yeah.
So now it's like this huge discovery. It's on our list. I'm doing some research, and we want to find a few to bring them to.
Mm. That's beautiful. So we will be back again for August date night with you all, and we'll let everyone know when that will be happening. And you all will be in Franklin this weekend. And so bookmark the Crystal Matchmakers for first part of August, depending on when you're catching this video, because their new inventory will be going on their website, their Etsy site, after they get it processed when they bring it home from Franklin. And then if you are looking for something personal to be picked up in Denver, you've still got time to make the connection with Alka and Mark to have a consultation about their crystal brokering and procurement services. So that's coming up around the corner. Summer is fastly cruising to a conclusion. If you're looking at September, I think you said in Denver.
Yeah.
Yep.
September. I mean, if you want to start your Christmas shopping earlier, again, let us know. Let us know what you're looking for. Even if you don't know what the crystal name is, tell us who it's for, what the intention is. Give us a budget and we put a package together. I've just I'll just share this last story. In Hindu culture, there's a almost like a holiday or ceremony called Raksha Bandhan. It's when a sister ties a string of protection to her brother. In the old days, it was, before they'd go to war, this is protection, knowing that, this will keep you safe. And a sister's prayers for the brother is considered one of the strongest form of prayers. Mm-hmm. And so I had a client come to me and say, okay, I need a package. And for the cousin of my son, and she's into crystals, and can you put a package together? This is what she likes. This is what she's like as a person. And so it was easy to just, put a package together and send it through. And we'll see how she reacts to it, because Raksha Bandhan is next month. So yeah, so we'll let you know how that goes.
See, that's beautiful. It's thoughtful and personalized.
We really, really want to personalize every experience.
Awesome. Oh, well, as always, it's been a wonderful evening double dating you and your crystals. And I'm always, I can't wait to introduce Vivianite. It's Vivianite that I'm getting right, yes?
Right here.
To Garnierite, and for everyone to make their acquaintances.
Oh, look at that coloring.
I know, I can't wait to see it in real life.
Well, he's happy to come to you.
And we'll definitely make sure that I will share the information about the enrollment for the upcoming Crystal Wisdom class, because I've met some of the students that have done this before, and they had a lot of knowledge that they had gleaned from the practical application of the things they learned with you. So that was very exciting to see the real results of the education that they've been receiving.
Yeah, it's very, very, very grateful for, students, very grateful for friends, very grateful for everyone who really trusts us. I think that's really important. Trusts us, and with knowledge, trusts us with, getting them the right friends, to bring them the right people into their lives, the matchmaker.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, you don't want to just bring anything into your bed. I sleep with my crystals. So, I'd rather have some trusted matchmakers rather than swiping left on Tinder. You know what I'm saying? Let me have some assistance finding a suitable partner and to do some work with. Definitely. So Mark Alka, thank you for joining me again. It's the Crystal Matchmakers on Instagram, on Etsy, Crystal Matchmakers, Facebook. Just reach out if you've had trouble and you can't remember what it is, hit me up at the Vibrarian and we'll make sure to get you connected. So I look forward to sharing with you all my new Vivianite when it arrives. And to share with you all later about the launch of the private crystal matchmaker sessions. So
Thank you. Thank you so much, Joelle.
safe travels to Franklin, and I'll talk with you all when you get back.